From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Good Wednesday morning. Right now you're taking a live look at Yakima. This view coming courtesy of Bi-Mart. A beautiful look at the valley and all the city lights down below and some of those pastel colors up in the sky. We are seeing some residual wind gusts left over for this morning. Winds gusting up around 20 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley. Elsewhere, they're pretty light. Winds are going to end up being pretty light for most spots for today. Right now, temperatures in the 30s and 40s for lower elevations, 30s up in the Cascades, 30s in the Blues, so it could be a little bit frosty up in the mountains, but it's just too warm for that for the most part for lower elevations. Here's your day planner forecast for today for lower elevations. We're going to have clouds building as we head into the afternoon, and that is going to be ahead of a chance for showers that we'll have tonight into tomorrow. So the bottom line for the forecast, foothill and mountain showers going to be likely again for tonight into tomorrow morning, but mostly dry for Friday and beyond, then feeling pretty summer-like for the first unofficial weekend of summer. So I'll tell you just how warm those temperatures could get coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Right now on Good Morning Northwest, a DUI crash landed one driver in an orchard and in handcuffs. I have the details coming up. Plus, Pasco crews are making some repairs, but your water pressure might take a hit. What you need to know before you turn the sprinklers on. And millions in public project funding were on the ballot in Oregon. Later on, we'll see which measures passed and which got voted down. It's all in Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest on your side.
Good Wednesday morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us and joining us here for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jade Elliott. Jessica has the day off. We want to start in Benton County. A high-speed crash sent a SUV flying off the road and into an orchard. Take a look at these images from the Benton County Sheriff's Office. Deputies say that the vehicle was headed south on Oak Street when the driver tried to pass another car, sideswiping it, and then continued through the intersection at Game Farm Road. SUV eventually veering off course and crashed into several trees in that orchard. Fortunately, no one inside the vehicle was hurt. Investigators say the driver appeared to be heavily intoxicated and was taken into custody for suspected DUI. And the Benton County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help after responding to reports involving mailboxes. It occurred in the Prosser area where mailboxes were opened and potentially gone through without proper authorization. So now they're asking if anyone sees vehicles near those mailboxes or any mailboxes that seem suspicious, call 911. Benton County Sheriff's Office says they are working on some potential leads. 503 taking you to Pasco now, where residents could see a change in water pressure today due to irrigation utility work. The city says crews will be working between 7 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. in the area of Sandifer Parkway and Broadmoor Boulevard. Now, during that time, irrigation customers may notice lower than normal water pressure. Public Works staff will work to minimize the impact, and the city says normal service should resume once the work is finished. Now, the city of Sunnyside is moving along with selling the Munson property after it's been on the market for about 20 years. Sunnyside City Manager Mike Gonzalez says that the once feeding lot has been through some renovations in the city's efforts to remove some of the smell that came with the property. Gonzalez tells us a part of the land has made its way into a purchase and sales agreement.
F&M has given us $100,000 in earnest money. For the next 120 days, they're going to do what's called a feasibility study. So basically what that entails is they see what the costs are to develop the ground, what it's going to cost to get the infrastructure in there, how can the city help in this public-private partnership.
So as for what's next, the city plans to turn that part of the property into new housing for the community. 5:04 now, and protesters gathered at the Seattle airport on Monday after a green card holder was detained there. Customs and Border Protection agents detained Maximo Landanio. It's all happened Thursday. He was traveling back from the Philippines with his wife and 12-year-old daughter. His wife, a U.S. citizen, says that they have been married for more than 20 years.
He's respectable. He's hardworking. He's family oriented. And he's loving. He's not violent. The lack of accountability by the United States Customs and Border Protection is failing him right now. It's failing everybody.
Now, Londonio has 2 non-violent convictions from more than 20 years ago, which could be the source of the problem. CBP won't comment specifically on the matter, but the agency says permanent residents can lose their status if convicted of crimes involving moral turpitude. Now, those include grand theft auto or using or distributing a controlled substance. 5:05 now, and Washington State Governor Bob Ferguson signed Alyssa's Law into effect earlier this week. The bill requires school districts to coordinate emergency plans with local first responders and ensure schools have at least one piece of technology that can be used in an emergency. Alyssa's Law was named after Alyssa Aldadeff. In 2018, the 14-year-old was killed during a mass shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Her mother has been traveling around the country trying to get similar bills passed. In Washington, it passed the legislature unanimously. Well, the city of Richland is keeping a close eye on erosion along the Columbia River shoreline. Just yesterday, contractors wrapped up a round of testing that could help shape a future stabilization project. Apple Valley News Now's William Albert has the story from Richland.
Contractors finished work along a stretch of the Columbia River shoreline in Richland this afternoon, part of an effort to better understand just how fast the riverbank is eroding.
The shoreline is slowly eroding over time. Water comes in, water comes out, and kind of washes away some of the soil from the bank. So the city is going to come in here and try and stabilize that soil. Testing took place along the river between the Riverfront Hotel and the Bradley Boulevard Trailhead parking lot. Crews collected soil samples and installed a well to track groundwater levels, all key data points for city engineers planning ahead.
While a stabilization project by the city is still potentially years away, soil testing is the first step in determining just how severe the erosion around this area of the Columbia River shoreline actually is.
City says erosion poses a long-term risk to both the riverbank and the adjacent walking path. But before construction begins, there's a lot of road of approvals ahead.
The Army Corps, Department of Fish and Wildlife, Department of Ecology, the tribes, the city planning department. Once we have an agreed upon fix, then we need to go through the design process, go through reviews.
And when that fix is ready, Richland plans to keep things as natural as possible.
The city prefers what we call soft shore stabilization, where you kind of slope it out. You might use some vegetation, some wood stumps, try and create what's naturally already there with trees.
For now, the river path remains open, and while today's testing is done, the results could play a major role in protecting Richland's shoreline for years to come. In Richland, William Albert, Apple Valley News Now.
The city is now waiting on the results of a geotechnical analysis. They do expect to get those in the next few weeks. That report will help determine the next steps for the project and how best to protect this popular area from further erosion. 5:08 now, and 19 endangered northwestern pond turtles that were raised at the Oregon Zoo were recently released into the Columbia River Gorge. The northwestern pond turtle, also referred to as the western pond turtle, is an endangered species in Washington. Well, 2 years ago, they were on the verge of extinction in the state with less than 100. Since then, over 1,600 zoo-head started turtles have been released. Now, the northwestern pond turtles have been cared for by the Oregon Zoo since last year, and now they say that they are grown enough to survive the wild. Still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest, President Trump has unveiled plans to begin building a sophisticated new missile defense shield. But the process and the price tag are raising some eyebrows. We have the details on that coming up after the break. And giving you that live look outside this morning from our Bi-Mart camera in Yakima. When we come back, we'll check in with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth. He'll have your first alert forecast on this Wednesday morning. It is 5:09. We'll be right back.
With McValue at McDonald's, you'll get deals on drinks whenever you hit the afternoon slump.
We've got your pick-me-up covered because medium drinks are now $2.29. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Ryan wants to get every new device that's smart. I'm wondering, how can the internet handle all of this?
We have Spectrum Internet. We use it for everything. Homework, remote work from home, doing research for trips.
Spectrum Internet allows us to do things faster and more conveniently.
I feel like that's a win-win for everybody.
Fast, reliable internet starting at $30 a month, backed by the Spectrum commitment to keep you connected.
for 600 different cigars and 125 pipe tobaccos. For every cigar rated 96 and higher by Cigar Aficionado. For 200 accessories including dozens of humidors and fine pipes. It's the educated cigar.
Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking was proud to take part in the Great American Flag Swap. Our commitment to quality craftsmanship, superior service, and community support is a reflection of our love for this great nation. Rick's Fencing and Decking thanks you for joining us in honoring our veterans and all who serve.
It's time to lose your generic weather app. Scan this QR code to download the Apple Valley News Now First Alert Weather app. It's the app you need from the team you trust.
The Apple Valley News Now First Alert Weather app, only from Apple Valley News Now, on your side.
Got a birthday coming up, celebrating a big win, or just want to gather the crew for a pizza and a good time? For decades, Hubby's Pizza has been the go-to spot for family, friends, and fun. Reserve your table and bring the whole gang. Kids, family, teammates, whoever loves great pizza and good vibes. Dig into your favorite pizza, hit up the fresh salad bar, and let the kids have a blast in the arcade. And if the party's at your place, no problem. Hubby's now delivers through Grubhub and DoorDash. A community tradition, a place to celebrate. Acquire the Hubby's habit today.
When you say let's go to breakfast, you mean let's go to McDonald's. Obviously.
Get the morning going when you buy one breakfast sandwich and get another one for $1.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Welcome back to the quarterfinals, where the stakes remain as high as ever. A win for any one of you will guarantee you the top spot on the leaderboard. What do you think about that?
We all start at 0.
Jeopardy Masters, tonight, 9/8 Central on ABC.
E.T. and Extra, tonight at 7 on Apple Valley News Now.
Extra, extra. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Let's go ahead and take you on a zone-by-zone tour of this morning's temperatures. We start off in Kittitas County, where we're at 34 for Snoqualmie Pass, 44 in Vantage, 42 in Ellensburg. Then in the Yakima Valley, 34 in Yakima, so we are cutting it close to freezing there, but the rest of the valley looks like they're either in the low to mid 40s. For the lower Columbia Basin, spanning from 41 to 47, 41 for Connell, 47 for the Hanford side, 43 for the Tri-Cities. And then for the Blue Foothills, most of us in the 40s. We are seeing some mid-30s down towards Heppner and 30s up in the higher terrain of the Blue Mountains. Could be a little bit frosty up that way. Here is your coatcast for today for the Tri-Cities. I'm thinking it's going to be light jacket weather for this morning, then t-shirt weather past lunchtime and after that into the afternoon. So we'll have high temperatures. That'll be warm, but still about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than normal for the middle of May. So that means mid 60s in the Kittitas Valley and low 70s for the Yakima Valley, the lower Columbia Basin, and the Blue Foothills, specifically of Walla Walla County. Then our weather gets a little bit more interesting for tonight. Showers looking likely in the foothills and mountains. Some of that could linger into Thursday morning, but much drier for the holiday weekend. Not just drier, but substantially warmer as well. Feeling summer-like. I'll tell you just how summer-like coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Josh. 5:13 in your national headlines this morning. President Trump is moving forward with plans to build a Golden Dome. The defense system is designed to shield the U.S. from missile attacks. Critics, though, worry about the expensive price tag. Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the details.
This morning, President Trump unveiling plans to build a new missile defense shield that could intercept threats from space.
I promised the American people that I would build a cutting-edge missile defense shield to protect our homeland from the threat of foreign missile attack. And that's what we're doing.
Modeled after Israel's Iron Dome, the so-called Golden Dome would consist of a network of sensors and satellites for tracking missiles, along with attacking satellites that can shoot down missiles soon after they're fired. The project echoes President Reagan's failed 1980s Star Wars program, which was criticized at the time for being too costly. The Pentagon estimates the Golden Dome system would cost more than $175 billion, but the Congressional Budget Office says it could cost up to $542 billion. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the system will take shape in phases, prioritizing defense where threats are greatest. But missile defense experts warn the missile shield will not be capable of defending all of America.
When you see that Golden Dome on a map, it's not going to be ever possible. I'm a missile defense guy, but it's never going to be possible to defend against everything. And so we are going to have to be selective.
While early indications show Republicans would support the effort, many Democrats are expressing concern about the steep cost and if it's needed. A recent North American Aerospace Defense Command assessment says America's current approach of missile defense systems is adequate. ABC's Karen Travers asked the president about this in the Oval Office.
Was it something that military commanders asked you for? Did they ask you to do this?
Well, let me put it differently. I suggested it, and they all said, "We love the idea, sir." It's the way it's got to be, right? But they want it, and they wanted it badly once it was suggested.
Now, the U.S. does have interceptors in Alaska and California for missiles launched from North Korea or Iran. The Golden Dome would expand the existing system. So much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up next, we are checking back in with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth. He will have your full First Alert forecast coming up after the break, giving you that live look outside this morning from our Legends Casino and Hotel Sky Camera at Richland's Columbia Point. Beautiful morning on this Wednesday. It is 5:16. We're back after the break.
Hey, your homework done?
Yep.
Hey, is your homework done?
This kind of is homework. So, what do you think?
I'm so proud of you. Can I play some more?
Is all your work done?
Washington's Lottery is a proud partner in the goal to promote college and career training. Each time you play, you're helping students statewide.
At Smoke City for Less, we understand every smoker is unique. Explore our over 1,500 vape flavors and specialty curated selection of tobacco products. Your perfect flavor and blend awaits at any of Smoke City for Less 6 locations. Save your pennies. Smoke City for Less has the lowest prices. Find the best vape mods, batteries, kratom, and specialty products too. Our knowledgeable staff is always on hand to provide personalized recommendations. Smoke City for Less. We smoke the competition.
Get ready, Walla Walla. The sweetest season is here. Join us at the ballpark as the Walla Walla Sweets hit the field for another unforgettable season. Whether you're a diehard fan or just looking for a fun night out, there's something for everyone at a Walla Walla Sweets game. Grab your peanuts, popcorn, and Lucky Cap, because this season the Walla Walla Sweets are bringing the thrill of baseball right to your backyard. Don't miss out on the excitement. Get your tickets now and be part of the Walla Walla Sweets experience. Let's play ball.
Saved is a lifetime earned. Numerica Credit Union. Money where it matters.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Now get employee pricing available across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing, you pay what we pay. Only from your local Ford dealer.
The 3-Degree Guarantee, sponsored by Legends Casino Hotel.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Today is going to be a beautiful day for lower elevations as well. Mostly sunny skies and high temperatures will be comfortable, but still about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than normal for the middle of May, with 60s and 70s for lower elevations, 50s up in the Cascades, 50s and 60s up in the Blues. Wind's going to be pretty light for the most part. Could be a little bit breezy in the Blue Foothills of Morrow County, but otherwise pretty light winds. And then for tonight, we're going to have chances of showers becoming likely in the foothills and mountains. We'll show you that in a second, but we'll also have some chances for showers in the valleys and basin. Overnight lows falling down into the 40s and 50s for lower elevations, 30s and 40s up in the Cascades. The same thing for the Blues. Now let's show you how this all goes down with Futurecast. This is 4 p.m. this afternoon, and you'll see really after that, this is 8 p.m., some showers starting to increase from the south and west. And it almost looks like an atmospheric river, and wherever this sets up is going to drop the most beneficial rain in our area. So it looks like this is going to stay pretty stationary. So obviously wherever this ends up setting up is going to be the million-dollar question for this forecast. But it looks like somewhere in between the foothills and the basin, the aggregate of models that I look at suggests that it's either going to be in the foothills or the mountains. So just a little wrinkle to this forecast, but really after lunchtime tomorrow, all of that's going to be off the map, and then we'll end up with more dry conditions. And our weather is going to stay completely dry from Friday through Sunday. Then we'll have little chances of showers coming back into Monday and Tuesday. Could even have some thunderstorms in the mix for Memorial Day. It is certainly not looking like a washout. And on top of that, it's going to feel pretty summer-like, as we'll still be about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than normal through Thursday, more seasonal for Friday, about 5 degrees warmer than average for Saturday, and then about 10 degrees warmer than normal for Sunday and Memorial Day. So feeling very summer-like as we start to transition into the summer season. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. A small chance of showers tonight into Thursday morning, but dry and heating up for the rest of the forecast. In Yakima, maybe some leftover showers Thursday morning, then sunny and warmer as we head into the holiday weekend. In Ellensburg, a few showers could linger tomorrow morning, but no showers in the forecast after that as highs surge into the 80s by Sunday. In Hermiston, a decent chance of some leftover rain for Thursday morning, but drier and warmer as we head into the 3-day weekend. Then for Walla Walla, showers likely before lunchtime on Thursday, then drier and feeling more like summer as we transition into the holiday weekend.
Thanks, Josh. Still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Grab your portal guns. Rick and Morty back for season 8. Coming up in your entertainment headlines, we'll hear from the creators on what fans can expect out of this upcoming season. It's 5:22, and we'll be right back.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. A heartbeat strong, steady, unwavering. Like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. In every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Get the freedom to save and 0.9% financing for 60 months on this Silverado. That's over $6,600 in average finance savings.
See your community Chevy dealers.
It's not easy being Mariano Morales' horse. He needs to ride the clients all the time. He does take care of them. He gets the insurance company to pay for medical bills, car repairs, even money for pain and suffering. Looks like it's going to be another busy day. Better get warmed up. After all, I am his best friend.
Hurt in a car wreck? Give me a call.
Big or small, we work them all.
I'm attorney Mariano Morales, the heavy hitter.
The heavy hitter is the one for you. Call 853-2222.
At US Cellular, you can get the amazing new iPhone 16 on us, plus $300 off any iPad, like iPad Air.
That is a great deal. And now an unprompted song to express my excitement.
Just know both devices have Apple Intelligence with Genmoji to express yourself.
iPhone 16 stuns. iPad Air waits in the glow. Sweet.
We should start a band.
Yeah.
Get iPhone 16 on us. No trade-in or plan requirements, plus $300 off any iPad. US Cellular, built for us.
The big Memorial Day weekend is finally here, and More Furniture is celebrating with store-wide sale pricing. Plus, get your choice, free white glove delivery, or we'll pay the sales tax. It's your chance to save big on our spring lineup featuring fresh new designs, functions, and features in every department. You'll find relaxing living rooms, bedroom sanctuaries, cozy dining rooms, and the perfect accessories all in stock, on sale and ready for immediate delivery. Visit your local More Furniture this Memorial weekend.
In the Korean War, Fred served his country with honor. Then he came home to serve his community, opening Fred's Appliance, a store built on trust, family, and service. 63 years later, we're still family-owned, still local, and still here for you. This Memorial Day, we honor those who served, like Fred, and invite you to check out what's on sale. Swing into Fred's today and discover unbeatable deals on the largest selection of in-stock get-it-today inventory in the region. At Fred's, we sell appliances, only appliances.
Judy Justice.
And I'm just getting started.
Today at 4 on Apple Valley News Now.
Welcome back, 524 in your entertainment headlines this morning. Everyone's favorite mad scientist and his panicky grandson are warping back onto our screens. Rick and Morty officially returning for season 8.
And after countless multiverse mayhems, alien escapades, and yes, even a few oddly emotional life lessons, Adult Swim has confirmed the show will continue its interdimensional mischief. So Rick Damigella has the details.
Party people!
Rick, Morty, you guys are really spreading out onto the lawn.
The adventures go far beyond the lawn in the 8th season of Rick and Morty.
Why would aliens care about a holiday we don't even care about?
I don't know, but we're not the only ones looking for answers. Check out these nerds. Space Christians? Isn't that a conflict of interest? Hey, don't scan me. I'll scan you.
Co-creator Dan Harmon says this season is a great jumping on point if you've never seen the show.
Because you're already done with The Pit, there's only 15 hours of that, you're going to need something that takes a lot longer to make. I would say to a new viewer, I like to think that we've rolled out a red carpet for you. We always do. I'm from an old school version of TV writing where you're not going to be tuning in and going, what the hell is this?
We don't want to stop here. This is the Morty part of town, if you know what I'm saying.
Because you could just do so much, I think it's kept it really unlimited. And I think we've got a really great staff at this point that has stuck with us, that are all really as passionate as we are about it.
I'd hold on to something, Rick.
You wouldn't.
Taking Morty's advice in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Are you a big fan of the show? Have you ever watched it?
I got into it kind of at the peak of its famedom at the beginning of its run, like 2016, 2017. But I've sort of fallen off, and I was surprised to hear that it's in season 8 now. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
I got some catching up to do.
Never watched an episode in my life.
You don't really strike me as a Rick and Morty kind of gal.
I don't? Weird.
Make of that what you will.
Yeah. All right, still much more ahead. I guess you're right, I'm not. I've never watched it. Yesterday, voters in Umatilla and Morrow counties weighing in on millions of dollars in potential public project funding. We have the results from the special election coming up. And Smokey the Bear is hitting the road in Washington, and he is helping local fire protection efforts. Stay tuned. We're going to have the stories coming up after the break. It's 5:27. Here are your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, a new AI feature from Google that works a lot like a chatbot. The company added AI mode, allowing users to ask more complex questions and follow-ups. The tool appears as an option in Google's search bar, part of the effort to compete with ChatGPT and similar services. Next, Fortnite is back in the Apple App Store after nearly 5 years. On Monday, a judge ordered Apple reinstate the game as part of an antitrust suit filed by Fortnite's developer. Apple removed Fortnite from the App Store in 2020 after the developer added an option for in-game purchases. And finally, Tesla's robo-taxis are about to hit the streets of Austin, Texas. Elon Musk said the company will roll out about 10 self-driving cars for testing by the end of June and thousands more over the next few months. Next, he plans to expand to Los Angeles and San Francisco, but with no driver, I imagine adding a tip would be fairly difficult. Those are Tech Bites.
For the new era here.
It is adrenaline, it's excitement, the stage electric.
Turn on the afterburner, he's gone! Unbelievable. It's showtime! The whole world wants it! Electrifying touchdown! Oh, baby, how beautiful is that?
I love that my daughter still needs me, but sometimes I can't help due to occasional stabbing and burning in my hands and feet. So I use Nervive.
Nervive's clinically studied amount of ALA reduces nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days.
Now I can help again. Feel the difference with Nervive.
When did I call Leaf Filter? When I saw my gutters overflowing onto my porch.
Leaf Filter is a permanent gutter solution, so you never have to worry about costly damage from clogged gutters again.
It's the easiest call you can make.
Call 833-LEAF-FILTER today or visit leaffilter.com.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest, on your side.
Good Wednesday morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us, joining us here for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jade Elliott.
I'm Josh Colbert.
And that 3-degree guarantee.
Yes.
You're crushing it.
Oh, thank you. Got up to another important threshold. So the jackpot's now up to $700. Woohoo.
Okay,
so
how many days in a row is that?
that would be 28 days in a row. So the ultimate goal is 40, because once I do that, if I do that, then the jackpot would reach $1,000. So we'll see.
Making it rain.
We got to get there first. This is going to be the last little hurdle. But again, thanks to our friends at the Legends Casino and Hotel for sponsoring our 3-degree guarantee. Yesterday, I went with the forecast high of 69 in Pasco Tri-Cities. It verified at 70, so the jackpot went up to $700. Here are the stakes for today, going with the forecast high of 71 in Pasco Tri-Cities. So if it verifies between 68 to 74, the jackpot's going to go up to $725. If that doesn't happen, the jackpot could be yours, and it's a good jackpot, so good reason to sign up at applevalleyNewsNow.com. Click on the contest page. You can scan the QR code that's on your screen. Okay, now what's on your screen is a live, beautiful look at Pasco. This view coming courtesy of the Dust Devils, already seeing plenty of blue up in the sky, and it's going to be a mostly sunny day. Wind's not going to be that big of a factor for today. It is a little bit breezy this morning in the Kittitas Valley. Some of those winds later today, shifting out of the north and east, could be breezy in the Blue Foothills of Morrow County, but for the rest of us, wind should be light. This morning's temperatures in the 30s and 40s for lower elevations, 30s up in the Cascades, 20s and 30s up in the Blues, so it could be a little bit frosty in some of those higher elevations. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast for today for the Tri-Cities. So we're going to have clouds picking up as we head into the afternoon, but most of the day is going to feature mostly sunny skies, high temperatures getting into the low 70s. So for today, highs, even though they'll be warm/comfortable, still going to be about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than normal for this time of the year. That means mid-60s in the Kittitas Valley, low 70s for the Yakima Valley, Lower Columbia Basin, and Blue Foothills. I'll take you on that zone-by-zone tour of today's beautiful forecast that's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Josh. We start this half hour of news in Yakima, where county commissioners have unanimously appointed Marshall Slight as the new acting coroner. Slight was one of 3 candidates chosen by the Yakima County Republican Party's precinct committee officers. He will serve as the coroner until the election in November. Slight replaces former coroner Jim Curtis, who resigned after being charged with tampering with physical evidence and official misconduct following a months-long investigation. And at 5:32, voters in Umatilla and Morrow counties have officially weighed in on a critical election with some big decisions from schools to public safety and community services. Apple Valley News Now's Dan Hansen breaks down exactly what was at stake.
It's a special election, which are school districts, cemetery districts, emergency service districts, fire districts, and so it's not necessarily an election that a lot of people turn out to vote at.
While there are a lot of contested races over positions, the hot topics voters in Morrow County will weigh in on are a major ballot measure totaling well over $200 million in public projects. The Morrow County School District is asking for $204 million in bonds to rebuild and improve several schools. Projects include a brand new Aragon Junior-Senior High School and remodels for Riverside and Hepner High Schools. Sam Boardman Elementary would also see improvements, along with the new secure entrances and cameras across multiple campuses. The bond would cost property owners about $2.99 per 1,000 of assessed property value and would mature in 21 years. Meanwhile, in Umatilla,
the city of Umatilla has a bond measure for $19,800,000 to build a new police station for the city of Umatilla.
And in Milton Freewater, a $500,000 renewal levy would maintain taxi services for seniors and disabled residents. It would fund $100,000 per year for 5 years, starting in 2026, costing taxpayers just 27 cents per $1,000 of value year one.
The interesting thing I would have to say on this is when you look at the city of Milton Freewater, these are the stats I have from yesterday. I don't have the current one right now. They were at 10.5%, while the rest of the total county was at 12%. And so only 10.5% of the people that are registered to vote are voting.
Lene says they have around 12% of the special election ballots turned in. With all that said and done, They are expecting 13% of the total ballots turned in. Dan Hansen, Apple Valley News Now.
Well, election officials report overall turnout was just over 13%. This morning, we are learning the results of the special election. In the city of Umatilla, the $19.8 million bond to build a new police station failed to pass. Unofficial results show nearly 57% of voters opposed the measure. The city will now have to explore other options to fund the project. Meanwhile, in Milton-Freewater, voters supported a $500,000 renewal levy to fund taxi transportation for seniors and people with disabilities. Just over 60% voted there in favor, meaning the service will continue for another 5 years, starting in 2026. 5:35, and as summer approaches, officials are working to establish a game plan to crack down on unregulated street vendors. Apple Valley News Now's Monique Ledesma shares more about how the city plans to move forward with this rising issue.
Let them sell.
Pasco City Councilman Leo Perales says this decision wasn't something that he made in the snap of a finger. His answer came after listening to the people that the city council serves.
I'm not saying we need to retreat and walk with our tail between our legs and like, oh, we got it wrong. No, like I said on Facebook and Nextdoor, give me information. Tell me, Leo, you know what? This is my perspective, and I'm going to change my policy positions on stuff. I'm a human being too, and again, I think the city of Pasco citizens spoke for themselves, and they support them, and they just said for us, leave them alone, and so I took that into consideration.
Perales says listening to the community is how the topic made its way to the council members in the first place.
We all received many complaints about individuals selling fruit at Lowe's on street corners, and so when people are engaging with us and raising concerns, then we jump into action.
Perales says he understands that for some people, this is how they can make a living.
They got to make ends meet and stuff like that. And I think that's where we're at. I think that's the reason why you saw the comments that we saw that I did on Facebook on Nextdoor. And again, we need to allow the community to make decisions for themselves. We can govern ourselves. And so for me, that's what I did, and I got the information.
When it comes to making sure everyone is safe, Perales says that's where the city draws the line.
When it comes to obstructing traffic and stopping people on Road 68, one of the busiest intersections virtually on this state, on the side of the state, and if it's going to cause accidents, then again, the city council is going to engage. We're going to figure things out, see what policies and codes that we can implement, how we can direct, the police department to engage with these individuals and get code enforcement involved.
Per Washington state law, street side vendors are allowed to sell farm produce, live vegetables, berries, and eggs without a license. But if they're obstructing a person's right-of-way on a public sidewalk or do not have the business owner's permission to set up shop on their property, that's where code enforcement and local law officials can step in. Reporting in Pasco, Monique Ledesma, Apple Valley News Now.
In Washington, Smokey Bear is officially taking his show on the road. Smokey Bear has been the face of wildfire prevention around the world since 1944. Now Governor Bob Ferguson signing a bill authorizing a special license plate depicting Smokey that will help fund the Department of Natural Resources efforts to prevent human-caused wildfires and support wildland firefighters. The Smokey Bear license plate will be available for purchase on November 1st for a fee of $40 for the initial plate, renewal fee of $30, and the proceeds will go to the Department of Natural Resources and their wildlife prevention programs. Still much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. It's our favorite time of the week. It is Operation Best Friends, and this week we're going to introduce you to the cutest little terrier pup with a larger-than-life personality. You won't want to miss him. It's 5:38. We're back after the break. Giving you that live look outside. As we head to break, we'll also be checking in with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth and a look at your forecast.
Wendy Redmond, Austin Reed, Stacy Lee Weather, Apple Valley News Now, on your side.
Our number one service here at NIU Women's Clinic and Aesthetics is our weight loss program. Our program is really focused on a lifestyle change. We want our patients to be able to lose around 10 to 15 pounds of weight loss a month is what we see. But when they're done with us on the program, we want them to be able to keep that weight off. We don't want to see them yo-yo.
So I've lost about 40 to 50 pounds, and that's been over the span of 3 to 4 months. At my peak, I think I was losing probably 10 pounds a week. It was It was quite a bit, and I just noticed it was falling off of me.
So we are proud to announce that we are releasing a virtual weight loss program. What makes our program so successful for both men and women is the fact that we are treating exactly the reason why you're gaining this weight in the first place. By addressing your insulin insensitivity, your hormone balancing, your lifestyle, treating everything. We really focus on you and your needs.
Now open in Yakima. Go to newuwomensclinic.com to start your weight loss journey today.
Here comes the sun. Get moving with a new car from Overturf Kia. Find your ride with the new 2025 Kia Carnival LXS. Named best in class for cargo and passenger space. Now just $38,990. Plus, get 3.9% interest for up to 48 months. Overturf Kia at the base of the Blue Bridge in Kennewick.
Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking was proud to take part in the Great American Flag Swap. Our commitment to quality craftsmanship, superior service, and community support is a reflection of our love for this great nation. Rick's Fencing and Decking thanks you for joining us in honoring our veterans and all who serve.
It's time to lose your generic weather app. Scan this QR code to download the Apple Valley News Now First Alert Weather app. It's the app you need from the team you trust.
The Apple Valley News Now First Alert Weather app, only from Apple Valley News Now, on your side.
Hi, I'm Debbie Robertson. It's time for the Nissan Summer Sales Event, and it's happening now at Bill Robertson Nissan. We've ordered extra cars and trucks for this event, and they're all on sale now. Plus, we have really great deals on all of our best-selling SUVs. Nissan Rogues for only $326 per month. And best of all, we're offering 1.9% APR for 72 months on all new Nissan Pathfinders. Come see us today for the Nissan Summer Sales Event at Bill and Debbie Robertson Nissan.
Tonight, President Trump's Middle East trip, plus trade confusion, the prices you're paying, on and off again tariffs, the state of the economy, where things stand. World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
Celebrity Wheel of Fortune is all new.
And with these all-stars,
look at that.
It's game on.
The luckiest sinner in the history of this show.
Because I'm very popular.
Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, new tonight on ABC.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Today is going to be a gorgeous day across the map. We start off in Kittitas County, where there'll be partly cloudy skies up in the Cascades, but mostly sunny skies in the Kittitas Valley. Light winds here, also light winds in the Yakima Valley, where highs are going to be in the low 70s. Just a gorgeous day out there. The same thing in the lower Columbia Basin, where also the winds are going to be light. Highs in the low, mostly in the low to mid 70s. Could have some upper 60s in places like Boardman and Connell. Then in the Blue Foothills, this is where it could be a little bit breezy, specifically in the Blue Foothills of Morrow County with some of those peak gusts out of the north and east. But in Walla Walla County, Umatilla County, wind should be light. Highs in the 60s and 70s for the foothills, 50s and 60s for the Blue Mountains. Now let's talk about the big picture, the snowpack surpluses and deficits we're tracking for this time of the year. These numbers are very, very bad in the Cascades, as the upper Yakima Basin, 60% below where it should be for this time of the year. The lower Yakima Basin is in an even worse spot. But before you get all down, because these numbers are pretty down themselves, hey, look at this. Some of the snow that we got in the Blues over the past week or so has done a number. We're now running a big time surplus in the Umatilla, Walla Walla, and Willow Basin. So even though there are some not great numbers in the Cascades, there's some excellent numbers in the Blues. So a little bit of Jekyll and Hyde there.
It's 5:43, and that jingle can only mean one thing. It's time for Operation Best Friend.
That's right. If you're looking for a furry friend with personality, charm, and a serious soft spot for squeaky toys, look no further.
His name is Zeke, and he is ready to find his forever home and possibly steal your heart along the way. Let's meet the eligible bachelor.
Operation Best Friend, sponsored by As You Wish Houses, Christine Connolly Realtor, and by Manthite Group Cross Country Mortgage.
Hi, my name is Hannah and I'm from the Benton Franklin Humane Society, and today with me I have brought Zeke. Zeke is a 1.5-year-old wire hair terrier mix, and he has been with us at the shelter for about 50 days. Zeke is very curious and very aloof and a little shy when he's in a new environment. However, when he does get acclimated and adjusted to the new environment, he does slowly grow into his confidence. He does great on the leash and he's working on his manners. I have taken him to several community outreach events, including the groomers, and he did great at all of those. However, he does start off a little shy and it takes him a minute again to adjust and acclimate. He is our playgroup dog. He does great with other dogs in the playgroup, and he even can adjust to other various play styles. When he's in a home, I think he'd do great in a home that has a lot of patience and understanding that he's a shy guy and he has a little bit of some social anxiety and social awkwardness. However, once he does get used to you and acclimated to you, he becomes a very loyal companion. He would prefer to be in a home that doesn't have any cats or small animals because he doesn't really care for those guys, but he loves other dogs that match his style and match his energy and his size. So Zeke is all dressed up and ready to go for our Wags and Whiskers that'll be at the end of the month. It is going to be a silent auction and all of the proceeds will go directly towards the funding of our animals. It'll be very fun. There's going to be some dinner and some music and some games to hang out and have fun at. If you're interested, you can go ahead and purchase those tickets on our website. And if you're interested in meeting Zeke and want to know some more about his personality, you can stop by the shelter. We're open Tuesday through Sunday, 11 to 4.
Run, don't walk. Go get Zeke. He's a cutie.
How's he in the shelter?
I know, because you haven't went to get him yet.
I told her, I said, so I have a dog and a cat. I don't have enough room for another dog. Had I not gotten my dog, he would be the one.
Zeke would be your guy.
So I'll have to live vicariously through you. But get Zeke. What are you doing?
Yeah, what a cutie. All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. We have your morning sprint and everything you need to know as you head out the door this morning. And of course, Josh will be back with your full First Alert forecast as we give you that live look outside from our Yakima Federal camera here at the Apple Valley Studios in Kennewick. It is 5:46. Sun is up. Birds are chirping. We're back after the break.
Hit by a big truck in bad weather? There's a law that says truck drivers have a legal duty to use extreme caution when driving in hazardous conditions. Hit by a big truck? I'm attorney Mariano Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222.
1 in 5 Americans get skin cancer by 70. However, when detected early, the 5-year survival rate is 99%. More at AppleValleyNewsNow.com.
Skin cancer prevention and screening available at Prosser Memorial Health. Visit prosserhealth.org.
Okay, y'all, we got 10 orders coming in.
Starting a business is never easy, but starting at 8 months pregnant, that's a different story. I couldn't slow down. We were starting a business from the ground up. People were showing up left and right, and so did our business needs. The Chase e-card made it easy. When you go for something big like this, your kids see that, and they believe they can do the same.
Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase with the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card from Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours.
Discover the joy of music with a new Yamaha piano from Dickerson's Tri-City Pianos, where elegance meets opportunity. For a limited time, enjoy 24 months of 0% financing on qualified new Yamaha pianos. From timeless grands to cutting-edge digitals, Yamaha delivers beauty, precision, and playability. Visit Dickerson's Tri-City Pianos in the Uptown Shopping Center in Richland, or call 509-567-3113. Life's more fun when you know how to play.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Now get employee pricing available across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing, you pay what we pay. Only from your local Ford dealer.
For 600 different cigars and 125 pipe tobaccos. For every cigar rated 96 and higher by Cigar Aficionado. For 200 accessories including dozens of humidors and fine pipes. It's the educated cigar.
Hit by a big truck in bad weather? There's a law that says truck drivers have a legal duty to use extreme caution when driving in hazardous conditions. Hit by a big truck? I'm attorney Mariana Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222.
Stacy Lee, Capkey View First Alert Weather. Watch tonight. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Today is going to be a beautiful day, especially for lower elevations where we're going to have plenty of sunshine out there. But in spite of that, high temperatures are still going to be about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than normal for the middle of May. So 60s and 70s for lower elevations, 50s up in the Cascades, 50s and 60s for the Blues. Wind's going to be pretty light for the most part, although it could be a little bit breezy in the Blue Foothills of Morrow County, but the rest of us are not going to have to deal with that. Now for tonight, showers going to be likely in the foothills and both mountain ranges. Can't even rule out some showers in the valleys or the basin. We'll show you that in a second with Futurecast. Overnight lows falling down into the 40s and 50s for lower elevations, 30s and 40s for the Cascades, 30s and 40s also for the Blues. Now let's put all of this into motion with Futurecast. This is 4 p.m. this afternoon. Now we're looking at 8 p.m. this evening. Showers starting to arrive from the south and west. This almost looks like a little mini atmospheric river. This is going to be around midnight, and wherever this sets up is going to be the million-dollar question, because where this sets up, those folks will get the most beneficial moisture from this. I think this model run in particular is going a little bit further to the north with this than I would personally have it. Some of the other models I've been looking at have this closer to the foothills and the mountains. So I think in general this is going to end up being pretty light rainfall anyway, and then after lunchtime this is all going to dissipate, and then our forecast turns very dry. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday completely dry. Could have a little shower for Memorial Day, maybe a thunderstorm, the same thing for Tuesday, but it is certainly not going to be a washout for Memorial Day. It's going to be a pretty nice holiday weekend, not just nice, but also it is going to be warm. In fact, hot. I'd say near 90 degrees, that's hot territory. So we'll continue to keep it about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than normal for Thursday, seasonal for Friday, 5 degrees warmer than normal for Saturday, and then the hot stuff for Sunday and Monday, as will be about 10 degrees warmer than normal. So feeling pretty summer-like for the unofficial first weekend of summer. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Small chance of showers tonight into Thursday morning, but dry and heating up for the rest of the forecast. In Yakima, maybe some leftover showers Thursday morning, but sunny and warmer as we head into the holiday weekend. For Ellensburg, a few showers could linger tomorrow morning, but no showers in the forecast after that as highs surge into the 80s by Sunday. For Hermiston, a decent chance of some leftover rain for Thursday morning, but drier and warmer as we head into the 3-day weekend. Then for Walla Walla, showers likely before lunchtime on Thursday, then drier and feeling more summer-like as we transition into the holiday weekend.
Now, the morning sprint.
It is now 5:52, and here are the top 5 local things you need to know as we start the morning sprint. A DUI crash in the Yakima Valley ended in a wrecked SUV and damaged trees. Thankfully, no serious injuries, though. Deputies say the driver was speeding down Oak Street when they sideswiped another car, blasted through an intersection at Game Farm Road, and plowed into an orchard. Authorities say the driver was heavily intoxicated and arrested at the scene. And in Pasco, irrigation work could affect water pressure for some residents today. City crews will be working from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. near Sandifer Parkway and Broadmoor Boulevard. Public Works says customers may notice lower water pressure during that time, but service should return to normal once the work wraps up. And taking you to Richland, where crews just wrapped up soil testing along a section of the Columbia River shoreline. It's all part of a long-term erosion study. Engineers collected soil samples and installed groundwater monitoring wells near the Riverfront Hotel. The city says future shoreline stabilization is still years out, but it's key to protecting the Riverside Path and nearby infrastructure. And county commissioners have unanimously appointed Marshall Slight as the new acting coroner. Slight was one of 3 candidates chosen by the Yakima County Republican Party's precinct committee. He will serve as the coroner until the election in November. Slight replaces former coroner Jim Curtis, who resigned after being charged with tampering with physical evidence and official misconduct following a months-long investigation. And in Oregon, the results are in for a special election with millions of dollars in funding at stake. Voters have rejected to build a new police station in the city of Umatilla. They rejected that bond. But in Milton Freewater, voters supported renewing a transportation levy for seniors and people with disabilities. 5:54 in your national headlines this morning. The unofficial Memorial Day weekend travel period starts tomorrow. Ahead of it, the FAA is reducing the number of flights at Newark Liberty International Airport by about 25%. Its new order limits them to 28 arrivals and 28 departures per hour for now. Those numbers set to rise to 34 when some daily runway construction ends. Now, the changes follow weeks of delays and multiple air traffic control outages. Experts say aging equipment and staffing shortages are a problem at airports across the country, but they say that flying is still safe. In your business headlines this morning at 5:54, Apple reinstated the popular video game to its App Store on Tuesday, 5 years after it was banned due to a legal battle. In 2020, Fortnite's developer Epic Games sued Apple over its requirement that users use Apple payment system to get the game. Now, the fight over Apple's App Store policies is still ongoing, but just Monday, a federal judge called on Apple to return Fortnite to the App Store or prove it had a legal basis for not doing so. On Tuesday, Epic Games and Apple signed a joint statement to the court saying that they had resolved that dispute and Fortnite appeared back on Apple's App Store. 5:55 in your health headlines this morning. There have been more than 1,000 reported measles cases in the U.S. this year. According to data from several state health departments, a large multi-state outbreak accounts for a majority of cases. As of Tuesday, Texas has reported at least 869 cases. New Mexico had 74, Oklahoma confirming 14. Kansas may also be linked to the measles outbreak and reported 56 cases. So far, at least 128 people with measles have been hospitalized this year. All right, as the clock turns to 5:66, we look at what is trending this morning. A rogue kangaroo now has a pretty bad reputation, actually, with police in Colorado.
I think rogue and kangaroo, you never want to be in the same sentence together. Well, Irwin the kangaroo has been tracked down by officers in Durango, not once, but twice in recent months.
I feel like maybe he needs a more secure environment. Like, is this the kangaroo's fault or is this the pet owner's fault?
I think,
you know,
the kangaroo should just probably be back in Australia, right?
Colorado's not its native land.
No.
So take a look. On Monday, police were called after Irwin the rogue kangaroo, escaped and hopped over his neighbor's backyard. Officers say he had grown significantly since his previous run-in with the law 6 months ago.
Well, back then, Irwin led officers on a chase around Main Street, all while wearing only a diaper.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting. Well, he was returned to his owner on both occasions.
Just in case you're wondering, having a red kangaroo pet is legal in Colorado.
It shouldn't
I got nothing.
It just shouldn't be.
I love that 6 months ago he did the same thing, but he was out just roaming the streets in his diaper.
In his diaper?
What's that about?
I don't know. That was tip to tell. Kangaroo, they have to tell. Tip to tell, that was a weird story.
All right, much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up in our 6 o'clock hour, big moves in Olympia. Coming up, we'll talk about the changes that Governor Ferguson made to Washington's multi-billion-dollar budget plan. Plus, art is in motion. Local students are turning buses into moving masterpieces. You can see their designs making their way across the Tri-Cities. And giving you that live look outside this morning from our Bi-Mart camera in Yakima. Josh, what are you working on?
Well, speaking of kangaroos, our high temperatures hopping way up there for this weekend. I'll tell you just how hot we could be for Memorial Day weekend coming up on Good Morning Northwest at 6.